We're out and about and we're at the Sheppey Academy in Minster and we're joined with the new principal, David Day. Firstly, thank you very much for speaking to us here at BRFM.
Well, thank you for coming to see me.
I was wondering perhaps if you could tell us a little bit about yourself first of all.
Well, I'm now 50 years of age. I'm a historian by trade. I went to Sheffield University, studied history for a BA. I started teaching in Derbyshire at Lady Manor School in Bakewell, moved to Tibshelf to be head of history. I spent a period of time in the North East teaching A-levels history and indeed looking at things such as records of achievement in the sixth form centres. Then I became head of sixth form in Mapleston Noakes School in Maidstone in 1992. And I haven't left Kent since. I moved from there to Dartford Girls Grammar School as the assistant head teacher, and I had a raising of achievement brief. From there, it was to Cornwallis as curriculum deputy in Maidstone, dealing with raising attainment, the timetable and staffing. From there, I went to Rootham School as its head teacher in 2003, and I've remained there until very recently, and I'm delighted to say I've been given the opportunity to be the principal of the Isle of Sheppey at this exciting time, so it's great.
So now you're the new principal here, what are your plans?
My first plan is, of course, to raise the attainment of young people, both at GCSE and A-level, and to do that I'm going to major heavily on the quality of teaching and learning, try and get the ethos right with the pupils, and the pupils have been fantastic that I've met so far. And also we're trying to look to plan for the longer term future with the new build and to make sure that I've got the staffing structure, the teachers, the new build all coming together to further lever up standards of attainment, because frankly that will be the bottom line here at the Academy.
Now, our listeners, and certainly I've seen all the new cranes up here on the island as you drive around the island. How is that building process going, and what's really going to be happening?
The building process is not deflecting from learning at all here at the Academy. The students see that behind specially created safety fences, the new build taking place. What we're really looking at, and I'm involving several key staff, and of course I will be involving the students as well, is looking to maximise the layout of the facilities. We're going to have 1,500 pupils here on the east site in Minster, and we'll have 1,000 pupils on the west site in Sheerness. And we're going to look very, very carefully at little families and groups of schools so we can create the small school culture within a large organisation.
We are talking to the new principal of the Isle of Sheppey Academy. We're out and about here at the Monday Night Community Show on BRFM. We're out and about. We're at the Isle of Sheppey Academy in Minster. We're talking to the new principal, David Day, here at BRFM. David, what are your reactions to the GCSE and A-level results for 2011?
Well, let me start with the A-level results. We were absolutely thrilled. Really, it's all about the percentage of young people who will leave the Academy with, at the very, very least, 2 A-levels or more to absolute A-level standard. And that's looking at 100%. And that's, a real tribute to the quality of A-level teaching and indeed the endeavour and effort of students and the support of their parents. So those A-level results are really, really a platform for some young people to go on to university and indeed go into careers in management and leadership in both the Isle of Sheppey, the Swale Borough, and indeed across Kent and hopefully even worldwide.
David, what about the GCSEs?
The GCSEs are a real barometer of pupil progress, and the Academy is doing really strong things. In 2009, 22% of youngsters had 5 A* to C GCSE grades, including maths and English. That has now risen in the space of 2 years to 35%. And I add, with maths and English, getting 5 A to C's at GCSE. In real terms, that's 60% worth of progress. But I want faster progress. I want it quicker. And I want attainment to rise. And the portents are good, because going back to 2009 again, if we take a different GCSE barometer and measurement, if we look at 5 A star to C GCSE grades in any subject, the Academy has moved from 50% in 2009 to 73% in 2011. So what we're really seeing in 2011, over 7 out of every 10 pupils here at the Isle of Sheppey Academy have achieved 5 good GCSEs at A, B or C grade in any subject discipline. The key and the trick is that we have ongoing year-on-year progress, and I will not be satisfied until we are continually outstripping the rest of Kent in terms of the faster progress that the students are making here. The bottom line is, for students' employment chances, and indeed life chances, we must do everything possible to work with them and their parents to ensure that the vast majority of students are able to access GCSE Maths, GCSE English at those higher A, B and C grades.
Now, you've been here a month now. How have things been going, and what have you been doing during that month?
Well, I've first of all been into quite a lot of lessons. I think it's important as a new principal to go around the academy, drop into lessons and look at the quality of teaching and learning, have a look at the books of the pupils, have a look at their work and just gauge the ethos and atmosphere. And I've been really encouraged. We've got some really talented teachers here, and I feel my role is to advise, to coach, to support, and to look for good practice, and indeed to highlight the strengths of individual staff on a wider basis right across the academy, so in fact we can all learn from each other. I've also really enjoyed running a competition for a new strapline motto that fits the academy. As you may know, we have the Aspire strapline, which is really quite important because it's really high aspirations that we're after. But I wanted something that the pupils had defined and worked up themselves. So we had lots and lots of entries. I had some exceptional ideas. There's one pupil that came up with, "The race for excellence has no finish line." I thought that was wonderful, but we didn't actually go for that absolute entry. We went for some of the most popular words that students talked about. And those most popular words were around learning, achievement, success. So the winning entry was a combination of 3 students here at the academy, 3 students in year 7 and indeed year 8. And it is learn, because that's what you should do in any school, believe and achieve. So it's learn, believe, achieve. And that really sums up a school. Learning has to be central. Students have to have confidence and self-belief. And if we can learn well and believe well, we'll achieve well.
We are talking to the new principal here at the Isle of Sheppey Academy on BRFM. We're talking to David Day, the new principal here at the Isle of Sheppey Academy. In the past, attendance has been a problem. What are you doing to tackle that?
Student attendance, Daniel, really is at the forefront of what we're trying to do here at the academy. We've introduced a new system of rewards because, first of all, we want to praise and encourage. So we're setting an expectation, and I want to give 100% attendance awards for every term. We now have 6 terms in an academic year, and if a pupil can collect a significant number of these that go up from a bronze, silver, gold, platinum award, they will be eligible for a special visit to Thorpe Park, and also I will give them a personal letter of congratulations if they can achieve it for the whole of an academic year. But I'm saying to students, How wonderful to go to a job interview and put on the table 100% attendance certificates, because any employer is going to think this young person can be relied on. And of course, dealing with absenteeism in the world of work is a tough call for industrial managers. So I think this would place the Isle of Sheppey Academy students in a fantastic position, those who are achieving that 100% award. There's of course the other side, Daniel, of the question where we do employ attendance officers. I have a very hard-working executive head teacher, Mr. Clee, who's taken it on as his personal mission to drive up attendance across the academy, and we're really delighted. 2 years ago, it was at 85.4%. Last year, for the first time ever, the Academy's attendance hit 90.1%. We've come back at the start of this academic year and we're up again in excess of 3%. It's currently looking at 93.2%, and we're really pleased with that, but not complacent. We want to hold and build on that. And we do go on and knock on doors. We do go and see parents. We look for their support. We have used penalty notices, and of course we're looking very carefully at how we're teaching. We're trying to engage the pupils, involve them greater in their learning rather than be passive, and make the school a happy, caring place where young people can prosper.
We are talking to David Day, the new principal here at BRFM on the Monday Night Community Show. We're out and about and we're talking to David Day, the new principal. We're out and about at the Sheppey Academy in Minster. David, what is your stance on behaviour as the new principal?
Oh, this is a really important question. In any school, you have to have respect and you have to have standards. My immediate response has been every child must simply know the difference between right and wrong. And I'm trying to impress on every student here at the Academy that it's important to make the correct decisions when you're with your friends, when you're by yourself, and indeed when you are in a large group. You must know what is acceptable in classrooms, what is acceptable in our community, and indeed what is acceptable in our society. In terms of classrooms here at the Academy, it's hard work, it's listening to teachers, and it's making sure that you complete your homework to the best of your ability, because the hard workers in this world are the people who really go on to succeed. In the community, I'm looking for Academy students to serve the community. We have, with one of my members of staff, Mrs. Kerr, a Pay It Forward favour scheme where we encourage young people to do good deeds in the community and to ask the member of the community who has received that good deed to pay it forward and pass it on to someone else in a kind of mutual goodwill gesture. But also there'll be a no-nonsense approach here. We've already had to sanction and discipline some young people who have not come up to the standards we require. We have detentions on a Friday afternoon. I have actually seen some parents myself, and certainly my senior staff are working very, very hard. We often go into lessons, we walk the corridors, and we make sure that we're trying to encourage pupils to behave in the right manner, with the right standard of uniform and the correct ethos when they relate to each other. Because ultimately, it's a two-way process in life. Your qualifications will decide whether you get a job interview. Your personality will decide on whether you get the job. And if we can create a happy environment here with confident young people, they will go on to have 50 years of great employment history in front of them.
How can our listeners find out more about the Isle of Sheppey Academy?
Well, in this day of internet access, it really is just to go onto the World Wide Web and just dial in the Isle of Sheppey Academy.org.uk. That will produce our website. And of course, this week we have our open evenings. On Wednesday the 5th of October, we have our open day and open evening here on the east site in Minster. And in the morning, parents can come to the academy from 9 o'clock until about 10:30 and actually come in and visit lessons themselves. They can come back in the evening, that's between 6 and 9 o'clock, and myself and my executive head teachers, Mr. Rahman and Mr. Klee, will speak to parents in our assembly halls where we address them with our vision, our values, and what we're looking for in the ambitions of young people who may wish to join the academy. That's on Wednesday the 5th here on the Minster site. On the Sheerness site, it's Thursday the 6th of October. Again, same times, 9 o'clock onwards in the morning until about 10:30. If you want to, come and visit lessons yourself. And in the evening, 6 till 9 o'clock, and talks will occur both at 6, 7, and a final, if you like, omnibus edition at 8:30 for anyone who's late back from work. But, Daniel, I think it's important that the local community comes and sees for themselves the quality of education that we have on offer.
So why would a primary school student go on to choose to come to the academy?
I think they'd look to choose the academy because of, first of all, we've got a strong rising trend of achievement, which I'm hoping to accelerate over the next few years. Secondly, we'll have the greatest state-of-the-art buildings in Kent. £54 million, Daniel, is being invested in this new build on both sites. Thirdly, I'm looking closely at trying to major on our specialism of business. And if you look at the great business people in the world, they're fantastic communicators. That means being good orally with communication, but also in writing. That really is English. Yeah. And also the great business people are very numerate, and that means mathematics. So there'll be a heavy emphasis on the basic English and mathematics. And for the academically able students, I will be creating a special academically gifted stream who will be looking to do the English Baccalaureate, which is a very traditional GCSE diet of English, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, the three separate sciences, history, geography, and French and Spanish. That will give pupils the same education as they would receive in any Kent grammar school, and my ambition is for those young people to feel triumphant because they are top of the tree.
David, I'd like to thank you very much for speaking to us here at BRFM.
Daniel, thank you very much indeed, and it's great to hear that we have community radio stations like you serving the needs of islanders.